Dude, the bridges get frozen over. Like one time I was actually like skidding because I didn't think I was gonna have to like break that much, but lo and behold, I was Mario Kart drifting the left lane while trying to get back to 28. Dude, freaking insane. So yeah,
You're playing
always
Mario Kart in
jostle.
real life?
Yeah, actually, that's how I would actually describe it. But
I'm I'm
we're
game with
not
that.
playing Mario Kart in here. We're about league, right, dog. Wait, we're live.
Oh, we're live right now? Oh, okay.
Wait,
What's up, everybody? Oh my goodness.
yeah, what an intro to it all. I'm talking about Tokyo drifting on Fort Pitt Bridge, one of the best views actually coming out from that side. Coming home from Highmark Stadium and bang! All of a sudden I am talking about Tokyo drifting. But we gotta talk about these teams that apparently we had too many near upsets. We do have to talk about one actual upset, but right now we're talking about going back to league action. Back to, we got a couple weeks, we gotta figure out a little bit of stuff that's happening. See where teams end up lining up because this title race, I mean, we talked about it being a 4-team race, but we gotta talk about how it's basically a 2-horse race now.
Yeah, I agree. We had some week 11 results. So we can pop those on the screen potentially on what happened this week. We'll start over maybe on the left-hand side, just because that's how I read left to right, like a normal person. Licinco Dose taking care of business against our Sounders RC. I will say that is deeper than people think because I think Licinco Dose are now the best team on paper in the Prem. And given where Sounders RC are in the table, getting one game on what I think to be the best roster in the league now, that's impressive. That's impressive. They won more 3v3 games against Licinco Dose than TA did in the Cup. So that's a W for Sounders RC as much as I hate to say it. And then there's the the one upset you're talking about. Well, table wise, the one upset. EM Dallas Burn 3-0 sweep there over ECRC. We'll dive into that one a little bit later or a little bit sooner as well. TA taking care of business against the other EM team. That one was sweep. That one was close-ish, but like kind of not really. And then the most disappointing game of the week on the Premier side was Chrome Cauldron because Reese and I were on that cast. I see you in chat, Nelly, and we were very much expecting a closer series, and it was very disappointing that it wasn't.
Yeah, that might have been like my anti-series of the week if I had to pick one. Because I was honestly drinking and playing Rocket League with my Steel Army comrades and brothers at the time. So I'm like, okay, put this on the side, see how things go. And I just keep looking, I'm like, no, 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 no. Next thing you know, Chrome's 3-0ing, and I'm going, this is awful. This is not what I wanted. I wanted a 5-game set, no matter what the title race was expected of. I at least expected Cauldron to make this a much closer fight, but that just turned out not to be the case. And just to transition over to the other side, the championship, Steel Army taking a sweep over LV, still looking for first win on the year. Azul taking care of business against EC Eternal. Seattle taken down, taking the L in that one. And the Rebellion continue their winning ways against Axe and Rose, who had a couple chances close in a couple of those games, but never really finished off anything as far as getting a win on the Rebellion. All for naught. The Rebellion continue their winning ways as mentioned, and I hate to say it, but we might be looking at a potential boring power rankings up ahead based on the results that we have put up on the board for you.
Yeah, well, and I know Maz was talking a little bit earlier when we were looking at the when we were doing the broadcast stuff on Saturday for the Chrome KC series, I think, or maybe it was another match. Oh well. That those games like might have been sweeps, but like apparently like each individual game was super close. He was saying, especially with like the Rebellion Axe and Rose series, because of course I get it from the other side from the guys themselves, and they were saying like, hey man, we were actually super close that series, and just a few bounces of the ball, and it might take a game or two or something like that. Especially on the Rebellion is crazy. Um, so I'd have to go back and watch the VOD to actually confirm that. But if it's coming from Maz and it's coming from, I mean, I guess the Baby Timbers themselves too. I mean, maybe there's some merits to that, so that's interesting. I think he was saying the EMDB and the ECRC series was also individually close games. It just EMDB came out on top. We'll have to see if that's fact checked as well. But yeah, so I guess maybe some of the series had like some individual close games, but yeah, as far as like series like score is concerned, kind of lame.
Yeah, a little bit for the most part. A little bit of lame gameplay, but don't diss what we're putting in chat, because you do get a chance to go back and watch any of the VODs. As Maz mentioned, Game 1 OT for EMDB ECRC, 6 minutes. Literally played an entire other game. They got 4 games out of that series.
There you go. There you go. Also, can we shout out LV? I know they played you guys, but that was it game 2? Was it close, or game 3? I casted that match. Was it game 2 that was super close? Man, that team that was epic. Yeah, Mass, but that was epic.
They actually had me scared.
Close. Yeah, it's like super close. Like Axe and Rose not taking a game, unfortunately. Same with LV, but like putting pressure on these top teams, right, and stuff like that. Like that's impressive. That's impressive, and that just shows the growth, right? I know we had our transfer window like about a month ago. These players have now, you would like to think, have been somewhat integrated teams, and yeah, it's a little scary. Like you can't like kind of just lean back. I know, what is it, a few weeks ago we did that like margarita lean forward kind of nonsense. That thing. Like I feel like that would be shifting now. Like I feel like there's not just a straight margarita game. Like it's like you still got to lean forward a little bit, especially like you said. I don't think you played in that game too potentially, but I'm sure everybody was like, hold on a second, why are we not smoking these guys? But they played well. They played really well. You got to give them the props.
I will give the caveat that I did not play that series. I left that up to the fellas because Fly Penguin honestly needed more time to play, just with like everybody else. So I really tried to give him more reps as far as his performances. So hopefully he'll be all good to go going forward. And I was like, yeah, you guys got this. LV needs to play competition that's like way closer. Plus, I wanted to see how like who would be potential like in-game leader out there on the pitch. Not gonna disclose who that is at all, so don't ask me about that. But it's just fun watching a couple games without me in them, because it's like, dang, this dude ruins everything. Let's go send out the more fun team to go do that stuff. So they get the reps this time. But LV, this was a little bit of a showcase. I'm glad to see they put up the fight that they did, because that game 2 really had me nervous. I'm like, don't make me go into this game. Don't make me go in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was good. Good all around. Like I said, maybe not series score-wise, but individual games gameplay was good. So
exactly,
the wins will come.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, those were results. We do got to get back to all reliable. You got to talk about, where we would rank these teams as far as power rankings go. As I gave the caveat before, I am not feeling that super hot about power rankings this time. This is already going to be like a shorter episode. Like we called it, not only because of that, but also just for you people that are out there listening right now. There is a game going to be played right after this, so don't go away after the podcast. Make sure you stick around for that. But yeah, I feel like the power rankings are going to be probably just as quick as they were. I think the last time we did this, maybe like a couple caveats, but nothing crazy. And
yeah, it should be pretty straightforward. You'd think, right?
I didn't think so. At least for some of the results that I saw like go the way they did, I wouldn't expect anything much to change. And with it being the premiere, that is, it's my time to go first. So from bottom up, I mean, what else do you want me to say? there would be any sort of merit for putting Sounders RC up, but uh, it that result against ECRC from EMDB just took it all. You know what? Sounders RC 8. My power rankings are stupid, so ECRC is back to 7. They should not be able to lose to an EMDB team. At 6, there is merit to potentially. Oh, this one's tough. Okay, this is where I'm gonna be uh what they call biased in this, but you know, even though they did play a top team in Timber's Army, I am gonna drop EM to number 6 and EM Dallas Burn to 5. That and KC, even though they disappointed me, it's not enough to push them up that crazily. So KC, wait, what happened over here? Yeah, and LV, or not LV, Los Cinco Doce. What am I saying? Yeah, KC, Los Cinco Doce, and then Chrome, Timber's Army. Perfect. See? Easy as that.
Dang, I really thought you had Cinco Doce at 4 and Casey at 3, and I was about to just turn off my monitor and turn off my computer and just absolutely rage, because that's completely wrong. But you got it right, so it's okay.
You would have had to fly to Pittsburgh and shoot me, and then fly right back to Portland.
Potentially, like that would have been diabolical. So
I just had to make sure. I'm like, okay, that did happen. Okay, never mind. We're good. We're fine. We're fine. I wasn't reading anything wrong.
No, you're good. Yeah, yeah. You're good. No, it's one of these where I don't disagree. I think I have one flip. I think I have one flip, and it's just 5 and 6 are flipped. So I have Sounders RC at 8, ECRC at 7, EM Dallas Burn at 6, El Matador 5, KC 4, Cinco Doce 3, Chrome 2, TA 1. And here's my reasoning for that. Obviously, you got the head-to-head there with EM Dallas Burn and ECRC. They just played. ECRC have looked awful in the last few weeks. I don't know what's going on with that. I think they haven't looked the same all season. I think that's just like a given. Yeah, I think EMDB with Caesar and net, most saves in the league. Mans is a brick wall. So yeah, he's insane. And I think it's really close. Truthfully, I know record-wise, potentially not. And this is why I don't disagree with putting EMDB and EM at 5 and 6 and flipping and stuff. I would love to see them play each other right now, because I think that would be such an interesting matchup. I'd have to go back and see like what the head-to-heads are between those two teams. Just to see, but that would be a great series, I think. And then I think KC, man, just getting blown out by Chrome, which on paper you might be like, no, that's not terrible. Chrome's like pretty good. Case, like you look at the records and stuff. No, like it wasn't close. I think game 3 was close, but in the same sense, it like kind of wasn't. So I don't know what's going on with KC, man. I almost, Debit, I'm not gonna lie to you, I almost put them at 5 and put EM at 4, but I didn't. So
tough,
there's
man.
that.
It's tough.
It's tough. They're just so. I think there's 4, 5, and 6 right now are all fairly close. I think that's the right order, but I think 4 and 5 are very close, and I think 5 and 6 are close-ish. Record-wise, potentially not, but I think gameplay-wise, I think they are. Cinco Doce, I've already said, they're the best team on paper in the league, so no problem keeping them at 3, I think, which is ironic because I think I penalized Cinco Doce 2 weeks ago or last week for basically just doing what they had to do and sweeping whoever they played, and then kept them below Cauldron. But they're back above Cauldron and I won't do that again. They took care of business, even though they got a point, or they gave SRC a point. I don't think that's like a negative thing potentially for them, given just how bad KC have looked. Really, I think that's just the kind of the story for 3 and 4 there, unfortunately. And then Chrome obviously taking care of business, doing their thing against KC. It's weird because obviously, like we've said, Chrome and KC, you would think that that's a really good match, and it just wasn't. And so you have to put a little bit of stock in Chrome, being like, yep, that makes sense. Like they dominated them, but at the same time, like KC have just not looked like what we know them to be, and so it's like you can't put that much stock into it. So, and of course, not enough to put them at 1 over TA, since TA obviously looked really good, hungry TA after losing in the cup. So, I know that was probably way too long of an explanation, but I had to back
I mean,
up my
Caesar
things.
did kind of say it right with that explaining emote that I'm looking up just a little bit. Like was that you at the board right there, just going back and forth, explaining your KC EM Dallas Burn ranking
Well, dude,
right there?
I was doing this in the car, actually, funny enough, coming back from work, and I was like, what is Debit gonna do, and how am I gonna go after him? You know, I was like trying to think like, where is he gonna put teams? How am I gonna, I don't want to be exactly the same as Debit, so I'm glad we're not, truthfully.
Oh yeah, and I mean, say what you want about me and my Pico David bias, but whenever I see him take a game off ECRC, was it 1 game or 2 games? I thought it was just 1. So somebody fact check me on that. I have a Maz and a Caesar in chat, so they can definitely help me out. But the fact that he even got a win on ECRC says a lot for me to push him above a EM team that I think I tend to put higher respect on to at least get a better result from you guys. Maybe 1, maybe just look a little better, but
I think it's weird because I think EM is properly rated. I think that they are a middle of the pack team. I think they have pop-off potential, but I also think their floor is pretty low, and so I think that's what makes them like kind of properly rated. And so at that point, it's like you can't really move them because there's like that's kind of where they deserve to be in a way. Like I feel like 6 is like too low for them, but like 4 is too high, so that's why 5 is perfect. Like it's like one of those where it's like 4 is way too high for them, 6 is way too low, so it's like 5 just makes sense.
yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, Playboy 40. Yeah, kind of split into in that regard, where like you like the 1 through 4 really seems like the upper echelon. The bottom 4 does kind of seem like the the bottom echelon, but there is like a divide between like 6 and 7 too, or almost like where 6 is. So
Yeah.
But that's power rankings for the Premier. We do got to move on to the championship. Just as a note, just because of there being 7 teams, EC Defiance did not play last week, so now we have updated standings for at least 9 games for the 2 and 3 seed there, for teams that are like really fighting in that spot. The Rebellion do have 10, but they will be having a bye week actually this week, so we'll have to see how that one shakes out next week, because that should be interesting to see if we just get right back to the same spot or we get something different.
Yeah. Since Debit started first in Prem, I'll start first in Championship as per usual. It's kind of the same sentiment as the Prem in the sense of like what you were saying about the divide. I think this is the same thing, because I think you have a top 3 and then I think you have a bottom 4. Obviously the points are a little bit more grouped, obviously in the top, and then kind of a middle 2 and then a bottom 2-ish, but it's really just a top 3 and a bottom 4 at this point. And so 7, of course, is going to be LV. Unfortunate, because like we talked about earlier, they looked really, really good. And who did we talk to, Maz, after that game? Was it Trigga, or was it Oh, was it Sky maybe? I can't remember
I
who we
think it was
talked to after
Sky.
that. Was it Sky? Okay, their mental is so good. That team's mental is so good. From what Sky was saying, like he's like, yeah, we don't play the game a ton, but we've been playing it like a little bit more than we have, and like you can tell the chemistry's coming up. Like we're just not there yet, but we're like still working hard. I love that. Like I actually love that. You know, I really hope they do get a game win this season. Like I think they deserve it. With how well they progressed the second half of the season. So we'll see. But yeah, for now, obviously, got to keep them at 7. 6, Axe and Rose, which is harsh, but I do think they looked good against Rebellion. I think if they can string like the remainder of if they can do that the remainder of the season for them, I think there's a potential to maybe move them to 5, given on how the standings look and everything. But I still think there's a bit of a gap there between 6 and 5. I think if I'm not mistaken, Debit, EC Eternal and Azul just played each other, and Azul came out on top. So I think I'm gonna have to go with the table standings and go ECE at 3 or 5, excuse me, and then Azul at 4. I think that just makes sense. Azul's also, are they in the? They're in the lower finals in the cup, and they play you guys, I think, right?
Yep.
So I think that's not obviously this week, but it's the week after. So I think keeping it at 4 there is good. This is where it gets funky, because you've mentioned this before, Debit, where like ECD has beaten Rebellion, but then Rebellion's beaten you, but then you've beaten ECD. Like it's like a
It's the
very like
championship love triangle.
yeah, it's like the Bermuda Triangle stuff going on here. So I really, other than Rebellion at 1, because I think that's obvious, I think you have a 2A and a 2B, and you could literally put them any way you want. It is also weird because ECD didn't play. So do you penalize them and put them at 3 because they didn't play? I don't know. I think I'm going to go Steel Army 3, ECD 2. I don't remember what I did last week. I really should have looked to see what I did and if that's true. I think I put Steel Army at 2 last. Oh well. I'm going Steel Army 3, ECD 2. It's a weird thing just because, like I said, it's so close. You could flip them and it doesn't really matter. I think it makes sense. Those two teams are right there. And I think those two teams play each other the last week of the season. So we really get to see who's 2 and who's 3. But we gotta wait a little bit longer for that. So, yeah, there we go.
All right. Well. Okay, yeah. I just read chat again. Essay and weekly performances matter when it comes to ranking the second and third place teams. That's so real. But
Well, that's also why I think I kept ECD at 2. Maybe is because LV just looks so good against Steel Army, and you know me, Debit. I'm not the one to be like, oh, like you didn't play. Like if you played, it would have been like just a sweep by like a mile. Like, nah, man. Like, you play with the players you got, and the result will determine how I feel about you. Like, if you played and you would have killed them, I would have put you at, or you would have killed them, I would have put you at 2. But you didn't, and that's kind of what happened. So, yeah, you know.
Your reasoning is that. However, I am going to maintain consistent because according to my last power rankings, I had us ahead of Defiance.
Okay, did
Even
you?
though I was
Okay.
initially thinking, I had Defiance over us, but I think I flip flopped at the last second. You actually remained consistent with this one. Put it 2-3.
Okay.
I am actually going to, except for 4 and 5, keep my power rankings of the last time with Rebellion 1, Steel Army 2, ECD 3, and flipping Azul to 4 and Eternal at 5 due to the whole, actually playing each other side to side. Axon Rose and LV, we've said enough about that. They will probably be in the spot, barring an insane matchup that just goes their way for some reason. And honestly, whenever looking at the table and how power rankings have gone, this week, or maybe weekend, whenever I have a little bit of time, I want to look back at both Azul and Eternal's seasons, because I feel like... Wait, no, Maz, flip Steel Army and Defiance on my end. I'm keeping consistent with what I had week 10 as far as 2-3. So yeah, they're not the same. There's just a slight difference. I really want to do a dive on Azul and Eternal's season so far, because I swear they've looked like massively different teams at times, and yet they have the same record and same game win percentage. So I just
That
need
is
to look
interesting.
back and be like, what did these teams do so far? And like what other matchups they have? Because I know Eternal have us this week. In week 12. I'm trying to look at like who else is around. Azul have Axe and Rose, so you're probably gonna flip on that end, at least based on current trends. And then Azul have to play Rebellion, Eternal have Defiance, and then last week Eternal have Rebellion and Azul have Los Verdes. So theoretically, it should go in favor of FSD Azul for
Right.
the rest of the year. But it's just, I swear these two teams have just looked like massively different, and I'm like, okay, what's going on?
No, I agree. Like it's I think it's a little bit harder in the championship to predict like how a team's gonna play, and it's no disrespect to each of the teams, but I think when you have lower ranked players, they're just more inconsistent, and so you could have a peaking Doughboy one day, or you could have a really mid Doughboy, or just obviously using him as an example, right? Like you could just have like there's so many different variations of the players, and as we know in SGL, like you have to be on game days. Like you have to be the best you could possibly be to get series results. No matter who you're playing, right? I think LV and Steel Army were the perfect example of that. Like if for some reason Bear Blitz wasn't playing well, or for some reason, you know, Raisin Boy wasn't playing well, or Fly Paint or whatever, like that's LV could take a game, and then that's that could potentially be a completely different conversation. So yeah, it's just it's like harder to predict the series in a way, but then at the same time, I think what it is, Debit, and I'm rambling, so sorry, but like you could just see either team winning, especially in that like Azul ECE's case, and you just have to see what happens on the field and go, if these two things happen, Azul's winning. If these two things happen, ECE's winning, and then whatever happens, there you go. Like you have your win causes, if you will.
Yep. I completely agree, because like at one point this Azul team, like as you mentioned, they could flip a switch. They went to 5 against us, and I was like, who is this team? Like they were making me sweat to get the win out of this, and I was like, what the heck happened to this team? I am not used to this. And then Eternal, like I've been kind of trying to hype them up because I actually have a lot of belief in that team, and yet I just feel like it hasn't gone quite their way. I mean, they do have like 3 new people to that team, so I'm not gonna harp on them that much, but it's more like they're the potential man. I'm waiting to see what the potential do. It's like watching a
Right.
prospect come up.
Exactly.
Well, as power rankings was kind of close to the table, as we're used to seeing. Nothing too crazy as far as discussions go and how results actually panned out. So nothing too crazy there. Fortunately, we do not have top 5s because we had a Ballchasing outage, downage, whatever you want to call it, that prohibited us from potentially gathering replays. So for the time being, we are without updating our top 5s, which, you know, it's all right. We'll just get it back the next time. Maybe the one dude who runs Ballchasing will get help one day to get the help he needs to keep that site updated for every Rocket League patch that happens. Oh, even incapable of parsing some of the replays from week 11 due to various factors of the game.
It was like the OTs, right? If the game went to OT, it like couldn't do it correctly, maybe.
Yeah, of all things, OT was. Yeah, if you.
Oh
if
no,
you had an OT
DFH 10th anniversary? Are you serious?
I think this is the second time DFH 10th Anniversary Edition has done this, because I swear at one point we weren't allowed to hear Shogun's beautiful reactions to goals and saves.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, we'll have to pass on that for now. What we do have is, okay, I swear we had clips. I think we at least have that.
We have clips. I'm down to run him. I'm
down to react. We can do clips, and then we can do a little looky at the week ahead as far as week matchups go, and then we could also take a look at the title race through the slides as well before we wrap things up and send you on to the series. So yeah, let's get started with clips. We'll react a bit, and then we'll take you through the rest.
Now they need to go back and defend again. Fly Penguin.
Oh, let's go, my team.
Couldn't get the touch. Bear Blitz trying to center him, but he just gives it to Blue Sky. Sky challenging Raisin. Gets the nice 50.
This game too? Dude, this game was back and forth. It was so insane.
Trying to get the shot.
Yeah, this is with a minute left. I saw that shot. I'm like, no.
Sky leading to Justin's clearance. Las Vegas is still in it as we're in the final minute.
I think if LV can kind of defensive heroics from LV, keeping them in this, but this is what you don't want. Bear Blitz to be honest. Up to himself, gets it down. Raisin Boy with the save.
Oh.
Yeah, what a save! I don't know if that was going in or not, but if you don't know
I
for
was about
sure,
to continue your
gonna
point
play
there,
this
but I was
one
like, oh yeah.
And LV are still
right.
in this with 30 seconds left. Can the
There was a
magic
save off
be
of a
real?
potential insane angle.
By staying there, waiting for the ball to come to him. But then he
game
decides
3,
to jump towards the ball, and that's when
I didn't know how
Los
this one would,
Verdes get into trouble. Loose
God, I just
ball
kinda
for Bear. Another
happened.
loose
Oh,
opportunity.
oh,
my goodness,
yeah,
how did the
this.
ball not cross
That
the
was
line?
insane.
How? I thought that was gonna
I
go into
remember
being a steal
watching
any
that
second.
live and going,
How did Los Verdes get away
huh?
with that? And how did they not
they
score
almost score
yet?
there. Blue Sky just jumped over the ball, unfortunately. Like
Little
moments,
like
game 3. Little moments, man, and this series is
Make sure
really
the
different.
Sounders RC are able to take control
Exactly.
of the midfield. Knock with a nice solo dribble towards the middle.
Gosh darn.
Runs out, just couldn't get it.
I swear, when you jump off
Out
the
in
wall,
the
they give you like
end.
an extra second.
And that's gonna haunt them. Not trying to go for the
Oh,
goal.
Connor, what are we
That's a
doing?
tough read.
Just could not get it on target.
He definitely thought it was a
They've
different
gotten
read
used to
upcoming.
playing with Hophead, and Hophead
That could have helped them in the
to
series. They were
them.
up at that time too. It's 2-1.
But they still have
Oh,
moments
oh,
like this where the
gracious.
goal is open.
All right, I'm
Not
gonna send
gonna
him a
get it
shooting
done.
pack. Training pack.
How did he not score that? I thought he was
You
gonna
should just
get
both
that
go on the
in.
pitch together and just do like a little training session.
And Lasico
Yeah,
doesn't
my
get
shooting
away
is
with it
trash
right
too.
there.
That's like
They still need to
Paul
defend,
calling the
though.
kettle black,
The Sounders
but
RC are coming
I
back
don't miss open
fast.
nets that
And
often.
so far, it's a lot of safe attacks from both teams.
But,
Just trying to find a way
there's Mr. Save Farm
to
himself,
force
the
a
defensive
mistake
player
from
of the
the
year.
opposition.
Always
Although
ready
sorry,
for
it's
it.
a back to Patrick.
Oh,
No, you could
that's
have
right.
the game winner, but Utopia was in the way.
We're full of team saves.
Unintentionally, and his team is incredibly
Yes.
unlucky. Utopia
Yeah, what was it
saves
about this week?
Gojo's
Maybe that
shot.
should have been the title of the podcast. Is just
Oh,
team
you hate
saves
to see
galore.
that chat. That should have been
Do
the
you
game
wanna
winner
win?
for Emerald City RC. They
Yeah.
had it too.
They're gonna waste the time
Check
here.
their
If they can
DraftKings
get
accounts,
that fit,
please.
They can, but at this point, their defense has just been so good. We talked a little bit right before we started this match. Being a huge fan of Dortmund and the yellow wall.
Oh, this was
we're seeing
almost
the
cool.
Orange wall.
I know what play this
out.
is.
Just one goal here.
Oh, wait.
Boy, look at the
Oh,
hat
wait.
trick. He gets it. That's
uh,
his fourth
little plan B
hat trick
action.
in the last 5 games. It
Attempted
looked like
pogo.
Matador called it a day right there, but you look at just like
Yeah,
look
he
at that
wanted
touch.
it.
That's ridiculous.
He was gotta be.
I don't
He was
even know
being
what to
mad
say
in
about that.
Discord.
That's
He's like,
beautiful.
I wanted the
He knew he had
pogo.
to play on it, but that's ridiculous.
Bring it forward
I
off the
don't-
backboard. He tried to do it on
I
his
wish I was
own.
that
Crew
good,
tried to follow up. He misses as well.
Do a
Luis,
little
the third
broski.
man, to get the touch and bring it forward. Getting the 50.
Oh, yeah,
Alright,
pass.
open
This
net
was
yet
so
again.
funny
Lloyd Boy
because
he
gets
misses
the
this, right?
second. I'd say he was
And
playing with his
as
food
soon
right
as he
there.
missed it, like
That
right
should've
now
been
in the
2-0 to
game,
Timbers
he's
Army,
like, dude,
but
Maz
I'm
is
not
gonna talk
get
about
away
that
with
the
it.
whole time. He's
Yeah,
gonna
I
put it
think
in the
that's
clips.
biggest thing.
There you go.
Nelly
Clips.
puts it across
So
Skyline with a beautiful save to keep Loyboy off the
As
scoreboard.
predicted, ready? Oh,
Easy
what a dunk.
big beat just for now, but
Holy.
Nelly
Tried
hat
the
trick,
musty.
no,
Oh,
denied by
the coup,
Kudo.
you know-
Great save right at the line.
You know what?
Nelly
That's real.
Was that
Bear Blitz
a
would have done that
musty
too.
He was trying to get that shot on. It kind of seemed a little
yeah,
musty.
we were just
It
feeling
smelled
too
a little
confident at
musty,
that point.
but unable to get the hat trick here in game 3.
If you do miss out on watching this live on Twitch, you can always catch up on YouTube as well as on Twitch if the
Yeah, I
bot is
swear
still
there was
around.
one game about this where I'm like,
Take the lead.
Okay. Greg works out.
Delight.
hey, this team's got a little bit of fight in them.
Dude, they do, man. They go in every day, every game, and they're like, dude, we're gonna win this.
Dunks on Golden
So,
at the goal line.
sucks they haven't done a little bit better, but
Rose, the underdogs,
they have the mental.
take the lead against first place Rebellion.
Exactly. It's the small mistakes, especially at this level, between two such talented teams. That are
Also,
gonna be
shout out
very
Nelly,
severe.
first time commentator, did a really good job.
But
Is this
dunk by
actually his first
Vitality, what a
time?
dunk.
His first time.
Smitty up,
We were
double
playing
tap.
twos.
What a
We were playing
save by
comp twos.
Chelsea, man.
And he's like, oh, the game, or he saw Maz's, or I saw Maz's
Cobra
chat,
pose
and
right
was
now
like,
because
oh,
Chelsea Man was
you wanna
not
do
supposed
this?
to
He's
save
like,
that. That
yeah,
was
let's do it.
perfectly lined up for
Hell yeah.
double tap from Smitty. He got it done.
Oh,
And
what a dunk.
Serrano
Oh my gosh, what a
this
dunk.
time is gonna get
Yeah,
that. Can he
Serrano.
get it in there? He can't.
unfortunately, they just
KC
couldn't string like
on the board
multiple
with just over
like,
a minute
good
left.
things
What a play
together.
for Serrano.
God, Serrano was up for an eternity there. Gets the perfect dunk and just gets there in time to put it right past the near post with no goalkeeper in net. Beautiful play there.
And you know Nelly cares about it too
Said Mickey
because
Ducky was
he
third
messaged
on
me
that
after
play,
and
I
said,
think.
how did I
He
actually do?
comes up and taps it home.
And I
near
told him, I was
post.
like, we just talked over each
Fatalities
other like
lining
one
up,
or two
maybe
times, but other than that, that was
or
good.
something out of the back, but
The commentary
shot
for
was
the most
good.
part is
Mickey
just,
Ducky's
oh,
gonna snipe
That shot
the
was
upper right-hand
crazy.
corner to give Chrome the lead. What
Chelsea
a
man's
shot.
my like, he has
Yeah,
to be the MVP.
top
Like, I don't care what
cheddar.
Lloyd Boy numbers
That's
are. Maybe
gonna
I'm
be a hard one
biased
to
because of
save.
that.
Vitality almost getting
Damn,
there.
dude,
Someone
he's
else
gotta
put
be
a hand
MVP.
up, but that one's
So
dude, what
good.
a freaking pass. What a
I think-
freaking
No,
shot
I
top
think it-
corner.
I think it's determined. I think this MVP race, not that we're talking about
Is
that,
net
but
is
like,
open just for a
it's
second.
100%
Becky
dependent
Ducky, what a
on
save, Chelsea
the
man.
Chrome TA series. If
Unbelievable.
the
TA
team
somehow wins
save,
that,
that's the glory of
I think
these
Lloyd
right
Boy
there.
wins
You
it,
get
but
those
I think
team
if
plays that you
Chrome
can't
does,
get
I
in
think
any
it's
other
Chelsea.
modes.
I'm
That was
giving
a
it to Chelsea,
beautiful
man.
team slate
Mans is a
from the boys
beast.
in blue.
So
Goodness me. Let's say Chelsea man shout just continually looks good every time. I don't doubt that. And yeah, I went silent for a bit just because I wanted to hear Nelly commentary. Wanted to hear the smooth voice come across the mic. And I hope he commentates more.
he wants to. It's just timing for him, I know, because he works until 10 PST. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's it's tough at times. So
Oh, yeah.
but no, he messaged me. He was like, I'm down to do it again. I'm like, yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. That was Clips. Thank you for joining us for week 11, but we do got to talk about week 12 yeah, even right now. He's at work.
He's at work, dude. He's at the park. He's at Providence Park right now. He's hanging out. Yeah.
But hey,
One of these days
I
we'll
guess-
have to get him like a FaceTime or something in here, and he can show you around. You know, get a nice view of the park. That's where he works, Maz. He works at the park with like what I do. He just does it full time. He works for ops.
My dog just happens to be an accountant plus.
What's happening there right now? Yeah, we're getting prepped for the season, but also like he gets like meetings set up and like we're basically like security as well, so we just have to make sure that like somebody from ops is in the building at all times. So but yeah, he just works swing shift, so it's 2 to 10. Somebody comes. Yeah, so it's cool.
You always need your obscure operations worker nearby to make sure things go smoothly. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's look ahead. Look ahead.
Let's go ahead. Yeah. Oh yeah.
We got our week 12. That was week 11 in the books. Just running down the list. Sounders RC taking on EM. I'm actually really looking forward to that one because they both are very capable of a shitposter matchup. Timber's Army, EM Dallas Burn. Will the Burn, somehow continue the run of form that they have? I mean, I kind of doubt it, but we just have to wait and find out. ECRC versus Chrome. Chrome, I expect to take that one and continue their winning ways. AC Cauldron, Lacinco Dose. I am looking forward to that one, but this KC Cauldron team makes me so nervous about what could potentially happen. Then running down the championship, LV taking on ECD. As you can see, already scheduled. This will be coming on right after this podcast. Azul taking on Axe and Rose, and EC Eternal Steel Army. So, yeah, Seattle gets to take on Austin and Pittsburgh, and running down the rest of the series. Right, Dog, you got a particular one that you're looking at as well?
I don't know. It's weird because typically you would circle that KC Los Cinco Doce series, but given how KC's playing, I don't want to circle that. I don't know if I have one that I'm like dying to watch. I think like pre-result last week, I think you could make an argument. They're like, yeah, you have to tune into Cauldron Chrome, because if you have a peak Cauldron, a peak Chrome, like that could be really good. Unfortunately, obviously we know how that turned out. I don't know. I think that the best game might be the EMDBTA, only because I think, yeah, EMDB's on a come up. They've got Caesar, 100,000 saves. And so that might be tough. So I guess that's slightly biased because I'm going to be playing in that probably. But, like, I don't know. To me, that's like a trap game. I think some of these other games for these other teams, like a Chrome or like a Los Cinco Doce or the top three, like, I don't think those are trap games. I think Chrome takes care of ACRC no problem. And I think, truthfully, I think Los Cinco Doce take care of KC no problem. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I would think so as well. Normally on other weeks, I'd probably be penciling in, like, yeah, essentially, Cauldron, Los Cinco Doce, ECRC Chrome. I actually really want to watch that Sounders RC EM game. I hope that happens. We don't have some scheduling issues come up. I think that'll be a good bout between them. And championship, I mean, I expect the results to go one way pretty fairly, so I'm not like leaning too hard into like I want to see this game, but I will definitely be tuning into LV ECD once we get off the pod. Looking further ahead, we can pull up the slide deck. We can jump into that real quick because we do want to talk about the title race upcoming, because we got some stuff to talk about. And yes, I said we because I know it says my slide deck, but we got to talk a little bit about the Premier and the championship. So we'll jump to Premier first. A little bit of an update for you after results. You actually know this scenario a lot better than me.
Yep.
At least whenever it comes to, you know, like clinching scenarios, looking at, you know, the matchups up ahead. So like, do you want to like take this like little title race up ahead and see like where we're at and what we could potentially expect?
Yeah, sure. I'll just go down by each team, kind of simplest road, if you will. I believe we did the math, and I think we think that it's a 2-horse race. I think Los Cinco Doce and KC are out mathematically because of the games they have left. They get a certain amount of points, but I think Chrome can get more points given their results. So I think that's what we've determined for those two. So right now it's just TA and Chrome there for the championship. I could be wrong. Maz can fact check me in the chat if he wants. But so TA, obviously their easiest road is to win out. If they win out, they're champs. Of course, one of their games is against Chrome, and so that'll be at the bottom half of your screen there, Chrome TA. And so I guess what Chrome need to have happen for them to be in this, of course, that they have to win out. And then I believe they have to win that series 3-1 or 3-0, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, I'd have to check my maths here. But I think if TA win 1 or 2 games that series, I think they win the title. So they don't even need to win that series, potentially. And of course, for Chrome, obviously, if they drop another game, I believe that means they're out as well. So, like I said, for TA, it's easy. Just win out and you're champs. And then for Chrome, ideally, they get a slip up from TA in one of their remaining matches. And of course, they play in the last week of the season. So, pretty straightforward there.
Exactly. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that, like, yeah, even barring the TA result, like the fact that Los Cinco Doce and KC are 2 games behind, essentially, it's not looking good either way. Like, I think we're at like 0.1%. You know, like how the NFL does their like percent odds to like get in per week whenever it gets down to end of the regular season. So yeah, that's about where we're at. And your teammate is even saying you're good. You did it.
We talked about it on the broadcast on Saturday too, or right after it too, after that match. So I'm glad he remembers because I don't. But yeah, easy for TA. Chrome needs some help, but it's certainly possible, obviously, because they played each other last week. So could be interesting.
Exactly. And then as far as championship goes, that's where things get a bit more hazy. Because as we mentioned, Rebellion have one more game played, and to be fair, I don't think that matters as much, given that their bye week is this week, and now that they covered that, assuming all things go as what you'd expect for the championship, it should be Steel Army and ECD getting wins. So Steel Army would be at 35 and ECD at 32. Again, Steel Army would need the Rebellion to trip up in one of their series, like actually lose because they don't play them anymore. But also need to cover against ECD. ECD needs a lot more help. We're talking like Steel Army trip up over Eternal, and then like Rebellion just tripping up in so many places against like Azul and whatnot in order to get the title. Their biggest threat right now is honestly just chasing Steel Army for that second spot, which is still very doable if all results hold and they just beat Steel Army in the final week. Because I think that would at least put them over. I think if they swept, because like even though they would have like the edge on wins, they still need to get points. So I think they would have to sweep.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Easy for the Rebellion. It's just keep on winning, same as TA. If they win out, they're good. Steel Army obviously need Rebellion to trip up, and ECD I think need a trip up and a little bit more than that. So a 2.5-ish horse race, if you will. But
yeah,
obviously we'll know more as more matches are played.
Exactly. And speaking of more matches being played, let's go get to that. I think we've done enough talking. Like, it was a shorter episode, but we gotta throw it over. We got teams ready to go. They want to play their game. They don't want to hear us talk. We want to watch. Done here for tonight. We will be tossing it over to. I mean, Rydog, you're out, right? You're not.
Yeah, I'm out.
All right,
I'm out.
So, Rydog and I will be taking our leave. We will be leaving you over with Andrea. At least I don't know if Maz is coming in to commentate as well. But for this podcast, we will salute, say peace, and we will see you in Twitch chat for this game.